Hey YouTube, welcome to Good Old Boy Gaming. Today we're going to be going over part 2 of our video, where we go over the weapon attachments that were added and removed, kind of some other stuff that we'd like to see in the game, and at the end I kind of go off on a little tangent about one of the weapons. If you like our videos and want to see more, be sure to tap that like button, hit the subscribe button, and ring the bell for all future notifications. Drop in the comments below what you think of our opinions, and with that, let's get gaming.
The anvil receiver for the flatline and the R-301 is garbage. Don't know who thought that was a good idea. Whatever rep for this game thought that was a good idea was a complete idiot. There's a reason why those guns are automatic weapons, and they need to stay that way. Sure, it gets a damage increase, but again, there's a reason why those weapons are automatic weapons. Should have left those alone. Should have picked a different weapon to have a type of attachment. The skull piercer didn't matter to me. Disruptor, I miss it, but at the same time I don't miss it because there are people who are better than me with that.
Yeah,
so
there's still people who carry R-99s.
Oh yeah, but the disruptor is the one I miss the most. It should come back at some point and then take it away again. I'd like to see that one come back. Skull piercer, I would like for that one to come back just because I know that my teammates and our squad loves to use it. Now, the double tap for the EVA 8 and the G7 Scout. I don't use the G7 Scout, but for the EVA 8, makes it a great weapon. Almost kind of makes it kind of broken. If you have all the right attachments. So, I really love the double tap. The double tap just makes everything more fun. And I would say that for the G7 Scout, if I used it more often back when I tried to use the G7, but the G7 Scout, so the double tap for the G7 Scout, I bet if I used the G7 Scout more, I would actually appreciate it more now as someone who doesn't snipe. But otherwise, it's okay. The double tap is really good for the EVA 8. I use the heck out of it. I really don't have any changes to make right now. I mean, the season's kind of new. Maybe if we start doing another video, like say about the midpoint for this season, and we'll see where it goes. But right now, I'm really enjoying what it has to offer. I really like a lot of the new attachments. I really enjoy the hop-ups for some of these other weapons, and so I think that right now where this season is going is really good. I don't have much more to say after that.
I can see a lot of you are already disagreeing with Tito and going, the double tap is great. It's a menace on the G7 Scout. That's all I ever see is people camping and using it. Because I see those comments online all the time. And the thing about it is, I think that's a PC problem. I don't think that's a PS4 problem because it's easier to aim on PC than it is on console. And if you watch all those videos, that's what you see. You see them go up to the death box to press F, not press square. And so it's really not that big of a hassle on PS4, and it's good for the G7 Scout, but it doesn't turn it into this monster weapon comparatively to like the EVA 8. The EVA 8 being able to do 300 damage and just completely obliterate the Peacekeeper now. Like, I don't see much of a need. If I've got a Peacekeeper or an EVA 8 with double tap, I'm going with an EVA 8 every time because it's much more consistent. I see kind of the same thing with the anvil receiver too for the R-301 and the flatline. It's one of those things where, yeah, it's an okay poking tool now for long distance because, you know, it does a lot of damage, but why am I going to poke with a flatline and a 301? One, the 301 doesn't have the magazine to do a poke. Two, yeah, the flatline does a lot of damage, and I think what you're going to see competitively is it's going to do really well, but there's no real need to pick up that attachment because you can just get much better poking tools with a longbow or a hemlock, which got a huge damage buff for Season 3, and it doesn't really make as much sense to try to pick up a flatline, worry about a gold attachment, when you can just pick up a hemlock. And again, I think that's what you're seeing, a massive difference on PC than console. So they got rid of the skull piercer and the disruptor rounds, and with that, I'm going to talk about the skull piercer first because I got a little TED talk coming after the disruptor round one. And with the skull piercer, on the wingman, it's not really missed. The wingman now does 94 damage on a headshot, or 96, one of the two. So pretty much 2 shots and a person's out, which is great. It doesn't really need the extra hop up. What's suffering though is the longbow. Because the longbow, 1, you have to get an extra attachment, and 2, it has bullet drop. So you're comparing that to the charge rifle, which just shoots 1 straight beam and does a crap ton of damage per shot. And why would you bother picking up a longbow now? It's not like you're going to get these crazy damage numbers off a headshot anymore. And you're not going to get crazy damage off of, you know, a body shot. Comparatively to the, I think it's like 78 damage you can get off a body shot with a charge rifle. So I think taking away the skull piercer attachment was okay. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think an attachment should be put on the longbow just to kind of put it up there with the charge rifle so it can see some use. So if you look at our top 5 things that we wanted to see in Apex for Season 3, Respawn kind of nailed all of them. The only one it missed was the extensive training mode, but that was a minor thing, so not that big a deal. But the only item that they've missed out on is an extended clip for the Mozambique. And I still do truly believe that the Mozambique needs to go up to a 6-round weapon to compete with the EVA 8 now and the Peacekeeper. Because even with hammer point rounds, it's just not doing it. So with the loss of disruptor rounds, the RE45 is still a good weapon. The problem is the alternator has kind of become useless. The Prowler got a really nice buff, and it's really usable even without a select fire. And then you have the king of SMGs, well, really the king gun, if we're being honest, the R-99. And the R-99 is going to be the focus of my TED Talk. Like I said with the longbow, I would much rather have weapons get attachments to get up to other weapons instead of being, nerf the charge rifle. I would much rather say, hey, add this to the longbow to make it more competitive. But the problem is, there's nothing you can put on other weapons to have them compete with the R-99. Because if we take an R-99, I'm much more confident in its ability at close range than I am with a Peacekeeper or an EVA 8. You get a purple mag on that R-99, and it's really hard not to become champion. It is extremely difficult because it's such a powerful gun. The fact that you can wipe a purple shield and kill someone and still have ammo left over in that magazine is ridiculous. And I think the R-99 needs another nerf. Now, I know the R-99 got a little bit of ammo taken out of its magazines, and people are going to jump to that. But let's take the Hemlock, for example. The Hemlock is a really powerful weapon. You can wipe a squad out with a Hemlock in a magazine with a purple clip. It's doable. But the difference is that its fire rate is extremely slow comparatively. And once they get in at close range, it's a lot harder weapon to use. And if I've got a Hemlock or a Peacekeeper, I'm going to take the Peacekeeper because it's a shotgun at close range. But with the R-99, when you die and you hear a comrade die and you hear that peel off and you're like, yeah, that was an R-99. I don't want to go over there anymore. I don't want to deal with it. Because there's nothing you can do except for maybe sacrifice one of your teammates. And with a game that's based around squads, having a weapon that doesn't have really any negatives outside of, it goes through a lot of ammo. Yeah, it goes through a lot of ammo, but it peels people. It doesn't make the team concept any better. Because if you can get into a place where you can, for buildings, for example, where you can get in and out and reload, you could possibly wipe an entire team with little to no worry. I've seen it happen before. And so I do think that the R-99 needs to be looked at again. I think it's a ridiculously overpowered weapon. Well, that's all for today. If you liked our video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. And until next time, keep on gaming.